Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be installing Advanblack's floorboards, passenger boards, as well as their shifter controllers and their brake pads. My friends at Advanblack have always been a huge supporter of the channel, and they were kind enough to send me these to do an install video for you guys. So if you're new here, this is my 2020 Road Glide Limited, the bike that I affectionately call Dracaris. This is going to be part of my Road Glide build out series. So what I've been trying to do is make the Road Glide my own and add a lot of different accessories for it to give it a different look. So really that's all there is to the video. Like I said, it's going to be a simple install, but I want to give you guys a look at the Advanblack floorboards and controller products, do the install for you, and just go over my initial feelings of taking it out for a spin, how it's going to be. Let's get to it. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to have a 4.5 millimeter Allen for this side, and we have an 11 millimeter wrench. We're just going to put the wrench here, down here. We're going to back these out. This is just for the purposes of videoing this. We're going to put it up sideways and put the block. We've got our blue Loctite. We're just going to drop that in there. Hand thread that in. All right, so we've got this. We've got the all 8 in there. So all we're going to do now is drop these in. Just kind of lightly lay these here. This is going to be a 5 millimeter Allen head bolt. You're going to get you're going to get the locking washers with it as well. And you can see here that it is indented, so the nut will drop right in there. So we're just going to work this in. Put these up like this. All right, so they're on. We've got some movement in them. They're not super tight. There's going to be some play here. So with the brake cover, we're going to work this off. We're going to be replacing it with the Advanblack one. This has just a little bolt, little nut rather, bolt nut. It doesn't matter. And then it's going to have this washer, and that's going to kind of latch onto the existing brake pedal. So let me just get this off, and we'll go through installing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the Phillips head bolt, put some blue Loctite on it with the washer there. We're going to drop this in, align that with the hole. This will be really nice and simple. Pop that in there. And this should go in pretty straightforward. All right, so that's in. That's nice and tight. So now we got the brake lever. The brake lever. It really does look good. We got the brake lever. We got the brake leveler. We have the brake pedal and the floorboards, and now we're just going to move to the passenger floorboards. We got this off. We're going to have an 8 millimeter hex on top, 6 millimeter on the bottom. We're just going to put this plate in here. That's going to be the plate for the passenger support peg. So let's get that on. We'll just hand thread these in. So now we're going to take the passenger board, we're going to take the mount here, we're going to take the 4 bolts, put them in, use some blue Loctite, just drop them in. Not going to bore you with putting them all in. So we have the bolts in, Loctited them in, drop this in here, slide that in, take the nut, make sure it's facing out. This is a locking nut, drop that in the hole here. I'm just going to work this in by hand, tighten that up there. You're going to have this here that you can adjust the tension. For this, we're going to bring it up a little bit. That's just going to give you, that way if you're riding up with them up, which is what I ride most of the time, you can just pop these down and there's some resistance. That's all there is to it. I think it looks pretty good. We'll shoot a shot and I'll give you some visual of them both on, but that's pretty straightforward. So this is going to be a front shifter and a heel shifter. Now I'm going to set this up a little differently. I'm going to set this up where it's going to be a standard shifter in the front, meaning I can get my foot under it to upshift and then get my foot on top of it to downshift. And then I'm going to put the rear shifter, the heel shifter, in a lower position, not quite a ghost position like some of them, but I had a similar setup on my Suzuki that I really liked because I could use the heel as I needed it and got used to it, but then I could still use the toe normally. So what I did, just to speed this video up, I already took the bolt out of here. No big deal, it's a bolt. We're just going to slide this shifter off. We're going to pull this rubber piece out and then we can get to the spleen. Let's start with the front. So we're going to start the front here. What I'm going to do to make this interesting is I'm going to put, these are my tobacco motorwear boots. These are the boots that I'm currently running. I'm going to put this on here. No, that's going to be way too high. So we're going to put it here, slide this in. What I want to do is put my boot under here and make sure that I can still get my toe underneath it. So obviously that's too high, but as you can see, it's just a little bit of trial and error. That's going to work for me. So I can still get my toe under there, can still put my downshift and my upshift. So now what we're going to do is put the rear on. We're going to put the rear, bring this up here just so it's flush, and make sure that we can still shift, and we can't on the back. So we're gonna have to bring this up a click here. And then we're gonna be able to fully shift. So I am gonna have enough room with my boot. If I run this way, I still have room to bring my feet around and bring it back, but then I can still use the toe, and then I can still use the heel. So that's really all there is to it. It's gonna have these 2 bolts. We're gonna lock it down. I'm not gonna bore you with that footage, but you're gonna put Loctite on here, snug these down, make sure this is flush. Like I said, take your time getting this adjusted. This to me is the great combination if you want to start out and you're not sure about using the heel toe. I've never used a full heel toe system. So like I said, I'm going to use this so I can do my standard shifting and then get a feel for the heel shifter. And if I do, then I can bring the toe down. But again, it's all on what you work. So I'm just going to put Loctite on, screw these down, and we'll wrap up the video. So I really like the way they look. It's really going to give the bike a much more aggressive feel and a much more customized feel. I'm going to do the other side. Obviously, I'm going to do that without filming it. But again, this is part of the Road Glide 2020 build out project. If you're interested in that, I please would hope that you would consider subscribing to the channel. And that's all we had today. Thank you guys as always for watching, and please remember you're not alone.